It's time.
Call the commission meeting to order, and Commissioner White will have our invocation.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to be here to serve our community. Lord, I pray that you'll be with us, give us wisdom, and please be with those that aren't here. You know what's going on with those, and be with those, our friends, and those in our community who are sick. Lord, I pray that you would heal them as well. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker? Here. Commissioner Garver? Commissioner White?
Here.
Vice Mayor Johnson?
Here.
Mayor Lamb?
Here. You had in your packet the September 8 commission meetings. Do we need to make any corrections to those? Leave anything off?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the September 8 meetings. Roll call.
Commissioner Baker? Yay. Commissioner White?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson?
Yay.
Mayor Lamb?
Yay. Now's the time we set aside for comments from our citizens. We'd be pleased to hear whatever you have to share with us. Please state your name and your address.
Good evening, Commissioners. Tanya Sadler, 4152 Bird's Eye View. I'm coming to you tonight after speaking to some HOA members. First off, they're interested in knowing when the next shredding event was going to be. If that's been planned.
We will be discussing that at workshop this month.
Okay. All right. And secondly, everybody kind of saw that the Christmas parade got canceled. Is there any way that we could do something innovative this year and maybe have a shorter condensed parade drive through the neighborhoods? Maybe 10 to 20 vehicles, no livestock, of course, or marching bands, but kind of like the county does, like their Santa train. That way families could stay on their lawn or the porch and the kids still get something coming through the neighborhood.
I think we'd have to look to see how that fits into the governor's announcement about those kind of things. Maybe we need to put that on our workshop, maybe?
We'll look into it.
Okay.
All right.
And isn't the Santa train giving out gifts for the
Theirs is
underprivileged?
giving out, if you
Yeah,
wanted
so-
to implement some kind of charity into it, that would be great as well. Or if you
Yeah.
just wanted to have an abbreviated parade to go through the neighborhoods.
I don't think you can hand out candy though.
You can't hand out candy or goods, nothing. It's prohibited.
That was the news thing that came out this week
I
already.
mean, we can talk about it
Yeah,
at workshop.
All right, thank you.
Seeing no one else, we'll go on with our agenda. Next, we have unfinished business. We have the second reading and a public hearing on ordinance 1086. Would you read the caption, please?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 20 of the official zoning ordinance to modify signage standards in the city of Collegedale, Tennessee.
So I'll close the commission meeting and open it up for a public hearing. If you have comments you want to make, I think I would like to have Kelly Martin to come up and give us just a brief overview of what this is about. And then if you have comments, you may follow up on him.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. This is the long-awaited sign ordinance update to reflect certain changes in state, well, actually, a federal case in the 6th District pertaining to on-premises, off-premises signs and the distinction being ruled that is not content neutral, and that's the goal of the sign ordinance should be. Ours did have instances that did not meet that standard based on the newest ruling, and the new ordinance does it has been reworked to be a content neutral ordinance where content is not, the sign itself is judged, not the content. In other words, just to put that bluntly.
And by content, what he's saying is what the sign says is not determinative of whether it's allowed or not, or whether there's a fee or not, or something like that. because the sign, like a lot of other speech, is protected by the First Amendment. And so there are certain things, I still think commercial speech can be limited in certain ways, and Kelly and I have talked about that, and that's kind of a legal concept, but that's the need for these changes. There was a recent case from the Sixth Circuit and even before that, the United States Supreme Court, that you just can't evaluate a sign based on its content, on what it says.
I believe one of the justices was in part of the opinion held that if you have to read the sign to determine whether it's on premises or off premises, then that right there
Yeah.
on its face says it is content based.
Okay.
So it's a cleanup in a way, Mayor.
Okay.
Right.
Any questions, comments from our group of visitors tonight? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and open up the commission meeting again. Commissioners, do you have any questions, any comments for Kelly? Okay.
I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to, for the approval of ordinance 1086. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker? Yes. Commissioner White?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson?
Yay.
Mayor Lamb?
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go to our new business. Our first item is the first and final reading of Resolution 518. Would you read the caption, please?
A resolution to adopt a plan of services for territory access from the western right-of-way of Main Street, also known as Hamilton County Tax Map Parcel 132P H007, consisting of approximately 0.19 acre.
Okay, Kelly's going to talk to us about this one.
Thank you. As you probably know, the annexation process is quite specific under state law, and even owner-requested annexations such as this one are also very exacting under state law. The first resolution that we're looking at, number 518, this is a resolution to adopt the plan of services, which outlines what the city is providing the property owner once it becomes part of the city, is incorporated into the city. And I do want to repeat, this is an owner-requested annexation. The property is on Ooltewah Ringgold Road, Main Street, just over the tracks. If you remember going north, it was where the small little house was. There was a barber shop and any number of things there. So this is actually for the Whistle Stop property the Flatiron building that's being constructed and it's nearing completion right now. So this is the plan of services that outlines what the city will provide and the timeliness of it.
Any comments, questions?
So it looked like WWTA has a sewer for the Whistle Stop. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You may remember some years ago, we kind of divided the area between us and the WWTA, I think as early as 1994, and that's still in effect.
Okay.
Will the building be subject to our codes enforcement and final occupancy, or the county's?
It will be subject to the counties. Since it is under construction, it was agreed that it would be cumbersome to change midstream, if you will. So any future additions would, after December 31st, 2020, would fall under the City of Collegedale standards and inspections.
Usually the line of demarcation is when a building permit is pulled, and whatever jurisdiction it's under at that time, it stays with that.
And we've stayed consistent with that principle.
And I think they're going to be using the house next to it for parking
That's my understanding, it's correct.
in the backyard.
Will that area become part of the city of Collegedale, or is that staying in the county?
Currently, it's still in the county. It would be up to the owner to request that at some point in the future if he or she desires.
Would that create jurisdictional issues with the police department if a crime were to happen in the parking lot? Since the patronage will be inside the building, and what kind of
Right, and
havoc does that create?
And I understand that concern. As far as I know, and I believe the applicant or the party is here tonight, but that property either was not under their control at the time or still has not
Gotcha.
come. I'm not sure of the exact timing on that. So when this was made, it was not under the owner's control.
So if I'm understanding your question, if there was a crime in the parking lot, that would be Hamilton County. Is that correct? Now, Collegedale could respond to it because they have,
Mutual aid.
yeah, thank you. So they could do that, but it would definitely be the county. Whistle Stop would be us.
On this particular
Yes.
street piece of property, and then in the future, if that becomes, of course, part of Collegedale, that would change. But currently, it's still in the county.
Okay, so, but the parking that's in front of the building itself, you're talking about the parking by the house would be separate, right? That would be county? But
That's
But the
correct.
parking in front of the store or restaurant or whatever, that would still be
Collegedale.
the college. Okay.
That is correct.
Any more comments, questions?
I've been following it on Facebook. It really looks great from the inside that they've shown so far.
It's gonna be nice.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of Resolution 518. Roll call.
Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Lamb.
Yay. Our next item is the first and final reading of Resolution 519. Caption, please.
A resolution to annex a parcel of land accessed from the western right-of-way of Main Street, also known as Hamilton County Tax Map Parcel 132PH007, consisting of approximately 0.19 acre, and to incorporate the same within the corporate boundaries of the city of Collegedale, Tennessee.
Okay.
This is the accompanying resolution that is the actual official resolution to annex the property, given that the Resolution 518 was now adopted.
And this is in our urban growth boundary. We've talked about that.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I believe, and it's in the recital, so it is cited.
Move to approve.
A second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of Resolution 519. Roll call.
Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Lamb.
Yay.
Thank you.
Our
Kelly,
next,
I'm so,
Excuse
excuse
me.
me. You're going to attend to all the notices and the recording and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, as you know, there's probably 7 or 8 steps follow-up
Yeah.
with the under state law.
Okay. I won't worry about it till I hear from you.
We will take care of that. Thank you.
Sorry, Mayor.
that's okay. Thank you, Kelly. Our next item is a sewer force main design change order approval.
Yes, this is a requested change in the amount of $34,950 to the sewer force main design. After our initial environmental assessment, we found that the proposed route included about 700 feet of a swamp that is underwater all the time. So we're needing to update the alignment. So we'll need to do an additional environmental assessment, additional survey, and then we will need to design elevated piers for a shorter section to still cross a smaller section of swamp. And so that's what this is for.
So is this our design error or an engineering group?
It's not a design error. It was found through the environmental assessment process. We had followed the original routing, which was put in years back. And over time, that area is now underwater year round. And so we can't really dig through fish. So we're having to move further north. In order to do an elevated pipe, we need to be out from underneath the TVA power line easement by at least 100 feet to address the induced grounding concern. So that's why we're having to survey that area and reassess.
So for the city manager, this will come from the sewer enterprise fund, which is separate from what our citizens pay in property tax. Is that correct?
Correct.
So it's not out of our general fund, if you will.
Correct.
Any other questions, comments?
No other?
No, I'm sorry.
I guess I'm waiting for a motion.
Make a motion, to accept.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the design change approval. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker,
Yay.
Commissioner White,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Lamb.
Yay. Our next item is runway culvert project, change order approval.
Good evening. What I'm proposing is the original bid for the project at the airport was $250,312. And due to extra materials needing to be used and extra excavation that was more than expected during the project, we have a change of $21,813.17 on this project.
Is this from a grant that we have only pay a certain portion of it?
We do have a grant for this project, and just so you know, as noted, because there was not contingency added into this grant, this will generate, if approved, will generate a grant amendment that we will also have to come back and approve for that.
And that's a 95.5, is that correct?
It is a 95.5 project. That
So
is
the
correct.
state pays 95% of it?
That's correct. And this portion would also be the same. It would be a 95.5. We would have to send in an additional, let's say, $1,091, which is our 5% of that project.
So city manager, I'll just, for clarity for the people in the audience, since there's so many tonight, airport fund is separate from our general fund, is that correct?
Correct.
This is not coming out of property tax fund, it comes out of the airport fund.
Correct.
And the amount that we're coming up with is 1,000.
Our portion is $1,091.
Okay.
Mr. Swain, it also might be good to note that the project is now complete with the
It
state.
is completed. Yep. We had to do all this to get it done in a timely manner so we could reopen and continue to generate those funds that we provide to run the airport with.
And this is well under your 10,000 spend limit anyway, so.
It is, but it's an amendment to
Yeah.
an existing contract, and it's appropriate to come before the board.
Okay, any further questions, comments?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for the culvert project change order approval. Roll call?
Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Lamb.
Yay.
Thank you.
Our next item is a bid approval for an asphalt rejuvenator.
Good evening, Commission. You may remember from our workshop a couple months back, we had a company demonstrate a product called Reclamite that's used to treat asphalt to keep it from deteriorating and aging. So we recently put out a RFP for that service, and we had one company respond back, and their total was to treat 112,000 square yards at a price of 90 cents per yard for a total of $104,608.70. And what that means for us is it would allow us to treat every road that we've paved in the last 5 years, to include University Drive, Edgemond Road, Little Debbie Parkway, Pine Circle, Bill Reed, Talent, and Old Lee Highway, just under 6 miles of pavement. If you recall from the demonstration they did, it really helps keep the oils in the asphalt, keeps it from getting hard, which delays cracking. It keeps all the fine materials in place to keep water from penetrating. Water's one of the #1 killers of pavement.
Is this budgeted?
Yes, it's in our paving budget.
So is it coming out of our paving budget or was it approved on
It's-
top of our
It's
paving
in the
budget?
paving budget.
Okay.
As a maintenance activity.
Okay.
And this will extend the life of the current roads?
Correct.
By how long, you think?
So typically, depending on how soon you put it down, it extends it 5 years. And you can relatively put it down every 5 years and get about 3 years and then about 2 more years. So they really recommend only treating 2 or 3 times. But instead of having a life cycle of 20 years, you can extend it out to 30, maybe 33 years.
And to pave an average mile is about 900,000 plus?
Yeah, close, a little less than that, but yeah, it's not cheap. So we're able to treat just under 6 miles for right around 100,000. And that'll be everything we've paved in the last 5 years.
And that's a really big deal. A lot of usage in it.
Going forward, I would like to start treating every road. They say you can put it down within a month or 2 of paving it. So going forward, if this works out for us, I'd like to, as we continue to pave and have enough work for them to come down and mobilize to our area, continue to pave the new roads or treat the new roads going forward.
Have you completed all the paving you plan to do out of this year's budget?
No, we have 2 projects that we're going to be doing this coming spring.
Will you include those projects into this process?
Does the work come like with a warranty or guarantee or something like that?
I'll have to look back on the exact specifics of it, but yes, they do guarantee their product. From talking to them and talking with other customers, they've not had any issues. They typically do test sections. I personally don't want to do a test section because what they'll do is they'll treat the whole entire road except for like a 20-foot area, and they'll come back 10 years later and you can see that glaring area. I would rather not do that. But yeah, it's a pretty.
And this is the same company that did the Skype call with us?
Correct.
Okay.
Mass, what are the 2 projects that you're talking about doing possibly in the spring that you're looking at doing?
We're looking at doing a repair on College Drive East. We're going to be fixing the culvert under the road there and repaving that older section. And we're also looking at doing a full depth repair out here on Swinger Drive.
Eric, is this the same contract that you showed me a couple of months ago
Yes.
for this kind of service?
Same contract, just after talking with you, we decided that for construction activities, they need to go out to bid versus purchasing off of another competitively bid Tennessee contract.
Right.
Okay. Any additional comments or questions?
I move to approve.
Second?
Have a motion and a second for approval of the asphalt rejuvenator. Roll call.
Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Lamb.
Yay. Our next item is our reports from our city administration.
I do have the finance report tonight. I'd like to review for the month of August. Our auditors were here last week. They left very happy. Glad to report that. So you'll notice that the month of August, we are almost 17% of the way through the year. All of our revenues are coming in as expected. Of course, you know the hall income tax, which is the state income tax, is being phased out. We anticipate that next year will be the last year for the collections of that. You'll also see insurance reimbursement is rather high. That's because it's the money coming in to do the repairs from the storm damage. Other than that, I see no areas of caution or concern in the revenues. As far as expenditures goes, the same thing. You'll see that planning is rather large just because we cut the initial check that we have budgeted once a year to the Tomorrow Foundation has already been cut and sent out. Building and codes is because of repairs that we're having done. When the money came in here, it went out there. Other than that, the finances look great for the city. We're very pleased with that report. Call you back to the monthly financial accounts and balances you'll see for the month of August. The checking account, we recently had to move some money simply to pay bills. Our debt service is due this time of year. So our checking account is sitting at $2,050,137. In August, we took in property and sales tax totaling $335,300. Miscellaneous income was at $231,500. Business beer and fuel tax was at $50,300. We currently have $5,020,728 in our contingency fund. Investment cash flow funds, which is what we live off of throughout the year, sits at $3,194,931. Our capital outlay funds sit at $58,032. Our sewer investment account is where we have borrowed 2 capital outlay notes to do these major sewer projects we're working on now. That'll be drained down very quickly when these projects are going, but it sits at $3,223,924, and our airport fund investment account sits at $93,55. Entertaining any questions you may have as a commission on the finance report.
Any comments, questions for Mr. Rogers? So when does the insurance reimbursement come in
For what?
for the tornado and everything? Have we
Coming in,
received that already?
A lot of it's already been received. Some of it
Okay.
still trickles in here and there as projects and the adjuster approves it. Most of it's been received.
Okay,
I think there's still some more out there though.
okay. What's your pleasure on the report?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the finance report. Roll call?
Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Ling.
Yay.
No other report.
Nothing else?
No, ma'am.
Commissioner White?
Nothing tonight.
Okay. Commissioner Baker?
Yes, I want to say thank you to Eric and his crew for coming out for the water main that busted, the underground water over on Pasture Drive. It's still running, it has expanded, and the police were out there this weekend and kind of roped it off. I would like to find out possibly when Eastside Utilities plans to come out and repair it, because it's getting larger. And also it is damaging the road even more. And I also like to find out, when does Robertson Farm Estates gets on that list to have their road redone? It's been over 20 years since it's been fixed or had a new pavement or anything.
Yeah, I'll contact Eastside about that water main again.
It's barricaded now, but people are having to turn around and all that, and it's gotten louder. It's not like spewing way out of the ground, but you can hear it going underground, and the water's coming up and coming down the road. And it's beginning to tear up. The cracks and things in the road are even worse than what they were.
Yeah, I know they provided a right-of-way permit for that Friday. I think finalized it Monday. And last I heard, they were waiting on parks, but I'll call and talk to you.
Okay, I appreciate that, because people are rerouting, I'd just like to see something done before it even escalates even more. I do appreciate all that you've done, and they were very quick to come out after you called them that night when I spoke with you. So I do appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Mayor Lamb, Eric, Commissioner Baker asked when they due to be repaid. It's not about time, it's about condition of the road, correct?
Correct.
Can you please address that?
Yeah, so we did an evaluation, a year ago, rode down every road and evaluated based on current condition, traffic count, service level. So I can look back at that memorandum and see where that places in the list.
Yeah, I was just hoping that would be within at least the next couple of years, not to wait another 10 to have it. Because it is looking pretty bad now. It's
Well,
not
what-
about big potholes, but it's still beginning.
What we do is based upon condition of roads when we put it on the list to be repaved. Some roads last longer than others based upon traffic, based upon heavy truck traffic, all the above. And so it's really not a time thing, it's a condition thing. That's the important point. So hopefully soon, I know, but we based upon road condition, not time since.
Yeah, I understand.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Vice Mayor?
I'd like to say thanks to Wayne and Eric for going out to Sunburst, looking at it with the area that had flooded not so long ago. I appreciate your time and effort shooting the laser to see the slope. I do appreciate that. I really wish that we could find that was a hazard for the community and find a way to fix some of that, but I understand that that's for another day. The other thing I have is this weekend, the Imagination Station, although it's closed, it was absolutely packed. I don't think the barrels are doing any good. If we're going to have it still closed through Governor's Lee orders, then we need to put up orange tape or that orange fencing around the whole playground to keep people out. It is still closed, correct?
Playgrounds are still closed. They have not been released by the executive orders.
I know the cleaning is an issue for the playgrounds, but they just walked right around the barrels that we had there. I saw the little sign that says park closed, but there was probably close to 50 to 60 kids on the playground. Is that something we can do or look at?
What we've done, Vice Mayor, based upon the description, which you have said is very accurate, of course, is we have closed the playgrounds and have posted they are closed and have advised people that they're not to play on them, but they do it anyway. And it's almost become a play at your own risk type scenario, because you're going to get a lot of pushback as a commission, as you are aware, if you take them off. I understand your position, but that's what's going to happen. I mean, we've closed them. We've told people they're literally playing at their own risk right now. This is a tough time for all of us. We're all just trying to get through the restrictions and the COVID situation. But if that's what the commission wants to do, you can direct us to do that.
Well, maybe we'll add it to the workshop. And my only concern
We can't win
is,
for losing.
I understand. My only concern is I saw one sign. I didn't see the other sign. So it depends on where you enter.
Sure.
Is it at that point we didn't have appropriate notification out? I just want to make sure we covered all the bases, in other words.
Yes, sir.
Because the little tape, the yellow tape was completely broken. And maybe they'll do that to the orange fencing. I don't know.
They did. We did have orange fencing on all of them. And for the first month, it was fine. And then after that, every single day, they would have to go and retape it up because they would just rip it down.
I thought we did, and maybe I was mistaken when I didn't see it, so.
They tear it down and play anyway.
Yeah, and I think what happens is parents just say go and the kids tear it. Because I've gone out there and put it up myself before. And when first this all started, I've gone out and told the parents, I apologize, but you can't play on the playground, and had to have their children removed. That's when it first, the first stages of the outbreak. And it's got to where the parents are just like, and it's their own protocol, I should say, or their own preference, just to turn the other way and let the kids go play, because they're not thinking about spacing or anything like that.
Well, personally, I'm not going to tell somebody it's closed, because in this day and age, you don't know who's going to get shot or who's going to get stabbed or who's going to get beat up. I don't want that to happen to me personally, but hopefully we wouldn't have that. But if we could put more signs up.
If it's okay with you and the members of the commission, let me get with Parks and Recreation and Public Works and see if we can increase the signage somehow. But whether it's right or wrong, knowing that anything we do are wrong, to be very blunt about it. I know you know that. You just said that. And I appreciate you conceding that and the wisdom in that. If what seems to work is play at your own risk.
Yeah.
If they're closed, but you're going to do it anyway. So we post signs, play at your own risk. And
What is our legal responsibilities if something were to happen to one of the children then?
Frankly, probably nothing.
So they couldn't come back and sue us for?
Well, they can sue you because you can sue anybody for anything, but I mean, just the exposure, I think would be, and that maybe exposure is the wrong word in this context.
liability is minimal.
But yeah, I just don't see it. I mean, you've got it closed, especially if you put the warning up, play at your own risk, closed per the governor's order, risk of COVID or something like that. And I can work with you and.
We'll increase the signage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we get some
We'll
bigger
do that.
signs, because the other ones
Yeah.
look like on a regular sheet of
Yeah.
paper, kind of. I
We'll
wonder if we
increase the
get,
signage, but
I'll let you use one of my yard signs for, you could put it in there.
I'm not allowed to touch those. I'll get with the attorney and I'll get with the key managers and we'll knock it out.
Thank you, that's all I have.
You're more than welcome. Thank you.
I just have a question. It's my understanding that the new culverts and so forth are completed on,
They still have a little bit left to do.
mhm.
One of the ends, I wasn't very happy with how they changed it back, so they're gonna redo that end. But they should have that finished up and try to do this week.
And some reflective stuff
And some reflectors.
on the ends to show that there's a
Okay.
barrier there.
So is the detour still required?
No,
No.
Then maybe some signage down on Stanford Gap Road needs to be picked up.
The contractor is asked to leave those up until they finish paving because
Okay.
that hopefully keeps the out of town heavy traffic off of.
and
Okay.
striping. We're gonna
Okay.
stripe it.
I just noticed they were still up today, and I thought that it had been opened up for traffic, so
If you haven't
Okay.
looked at those culverts, they're extremely nice.
they are very
Very
nice.
successful project.
Is that everything?
Move to adjourn.
Okay,
Second?
we're adjourned.
Sorry to cut you off.